Thank you, President Higgins, and good morning. I want to begin by telling you my union story. My mom was the secretary of my high school, Paulding High School in Northwest Ohio. As an ESP, she didn't get paid a lot of money, but she loved her job, and our family needed it to make ends meet. All the kids in our school liked Mom, and I knew that because they'd come up to me in class and say, "Dude, your mom is so cool," which was kind of awkward for me. But the bad thing was, whenever I got in trouble at school, Mom always knew. That was awful. Mom often reminded me that our family needed the insurance benefits her union bargained. She had a lot of time to do this because, well, I broke a lot of things as a kid, but mostly I broke parts of my own body. Ankles, knees, teeth, you name it. We needed Mom's insurance to cover my bills. Mom cared enough about her union to become local president, but she didn't run for another term because it was too stressful, and that's totally something I can understand, being a local president for 8 years. My dad was a truck driver who worked for a non-union shop. He told me that if he could ever join a union, he would, because union jobs had better pay and benefits. To my dad, sick days were days without pay, and vacation meant 10 days per year paid at minimum wage. There was no health insurance, and a personal day meant the boss gave you the day off without pay if he felt like it. Whenever my parents would come visit me as an adult, I took a personal day to spend time with them, and Dad would say, "You better be careful taking days off like that, Mark. You don't want to get fired." And I'd say, "Relax, Dad. I'm allowed to do this. It's in my contract." And Dad could never get his head around that or many of the other benefits that we have. They were never part of his working experience. Thinking about how my dad never had those experiences makes me appreciate my union even more. So because of my parents, when the Columbus Education Association faculty rep came to me in 1989 with a membership form, they had me at hello. That's right. When I began working in Worthington, I asked for the membership form first. Because of those union values I learned as a kid, I worked for the betterment of our association and our members in every position I've held. I became WEA president the same year John Kasich got elected governor, and his gift to all of us in my first year was Senate Bill 5. That winter, I led a general membership meeting, and after that meeting, 200 of us marched on the State House. Later, that's right, we all did our part to gather petitions and knock on doors. I was proud of what we did together in my local, but with the rest of OEA, to gather 1.2 million signatures and defeat that piece of legislation. When I got elected to the STRS board, the time horizon to pay benefits to all our members we're counting on was infinity. And infinity is a really, really long time. Governor Kasich sent a message to our board: you fix your pension or we'll do it for you. The choice was clear. We could never let the governor and his cronies determine our retirement. All we have to do now is look to Kentucky, where their legislature attached an unfair pension change to a sewer bill in the middle of the night. We worked with OEA on making the necessary changes to our pension. We were committed to making sure all of us have a guaranteed income for life after we retire. As Secretary-Treasurer, I'll make sure that our pensions, both STRS and SCRS, remain sound, and we elect board members to both systems to keep it that way. We must keep the promise of a secure pension for our retired members, and we must make sure the goalposts of retirement don't move away from us again. Throughout my work in union leadership and on the STRS board, I've been fortunate to gain the experience in finance and business we need in a secretary-treasurer. I know what it's like to plan and manage budgets, big and small. I have experience overseeing a multi-million-dollar organization. I've conducted audits, membership drives, and successful FCPE fundraising campaigns in my local. The Secretary-Treasurer works directly with locals and promotes sound business practices through training and personal experience. Having first-hand experience with local association finance is essential to communicating effectively with local leaders and providing them with vital assistance. I've gained that knowledge as president of my local, and I am ready to step into that role as Secretary-Treasurer. The Secretary-Treasurer is also responsible for the OEA grant program. I've gotten grants for our local, and I understand the grant writing process and how to use it to engage members. As chair of the Central Finance Committee, I've worked to make sure our locals have a grant program that's user-friendly, accessible, and aimed towards helping them be more valuable to their members. As your Secretary-Treasurer, I will work to ensure the same in our OEA grant program. We are sitting on the edge of a Supreme Court decision that may alter the way we do business. I've been in meetings with other local leaders from around the state talking about how to help our members see the value of membership. We need leaders who know what it takes to engage our members. I've had one-on-one conversations with members about our union. I've gone door to door talking with early career educators in my local about the value of our union and what we should be doing to help them as educators. I know what it takes to get members involved in levy campaigns, school board races, and contract negotiations. As your Secretary-Treasurer, I will make sure OEA devotes its resources to helping local leaders communicate about the value of membership with our members. We must continue that work if we're going to remain powerful and influential from local contract negotiations all the way up to the State House. And now I want you to listen carefully. It doesn't matter what the Supreme Court does. When our members believe that being a part of our union makes us powerful and strengthens the bonds that we have with each other, then being a member of our union will be an inseparable part of what we do for our students in every role we have, whether it be as teacher, secretary, bus driver, or professor. When our brothers and sisters in low-wealth districts know they can count on us, our union, to lead the fight for a better funding system and equitable pay, then we'll have members who know the value of membership. When our ESPs know our union stands with them to demand respect for their profession and resist privatization, then we'll have members who know the value of membership. When our brothers and sisters in Youngstown and Lorain and every other district in the crosshairs of House Bill 70 know we stand with them to fight for a fair accountability system instead of one that is rigged against them, then we'll have members who know the value of membership. OEA, we have a lot of work to do, but I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and I am ready to lead. Whoa. Our cause has always been righteous because we stand up for our students and public education. We're going to build our future because when we're united, it doesn't matter what our opponents try to do. I started my career at the beginning of the collective bargaining era in Ohio, and as educators all across our nation are rising up, I'll be damned if we see it end. This is our moment, OEA, and we still have a story to write. I'm all in. Are you in with me? I need your vote for Mark Hill, Secretary-Treasurer. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Ms. Jeffries.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, delegates. I am honored to stand before you today as a highly qualified candidate for OEA Secretary-Treasurer. As I sat down to write this speech, my 8-year-old granddaughter entered the room and handed me these 2 index cards. She said, "Nina," I'm not a grandma, "Nina, I wrote a speech for you." As the center of all that we do as children, I'd like to begin by sharing her words. My name is Robin Jeffries. I want to be the treasurer because I want to raise money for our schools and cure cancer and raise money for people in the hospital. I love this school. It is all of me. I am saving the world by picking up the trash. This is why I want to be the treasurer. I also have 2 grandchildren that are praying for me. They hope I win, so we get to help people and travel to the people to give them food and to give them shelter. This is why I want to be the treasurer. And as they say, out of the mouths of babes. And a shout out to the Licking Heights educators, because she did that all by herself. If the reflections and thoughts of the 8-year-old and under crowd didn't persuade you, let me share with you some other pertinent facts about my unique qualifications. For those of you that don't know, I am also a PK, a preacher's kid. And the Bible says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." I stand here before you, sharing my truth. Today represents change, an opportunity for each of you to voice your decision on who the new Secretary-Treasurer will be. Both Mark and I come to you as qualified candidates. Mark has teaching experience, financial experience through BSA and the STRS board, and experience as an officer as the president of Worthington Education Association. I too have teaching experience, financial experience through business support and administration, or BSA, and experience as an officer as the vice president of the Capital District. Our financial experience, as important as it may seem, is parallel. Mark chairs the STRS board. He and 10 other members collectively make recommendations on how to best manage STRS funds. I have sat on BSA for 11 years. I, along with 9 other members, collectively make recommendations on how to best manage OEA funds. Neither of us is solely responsible for these millions of dollars. We make financial recommendations with equally qualified board members on how best to manage funds. So let's look beyond this seemingly level playing field. As you have seen from my bio, I have vast experience on the national level that Mark does not. NEA Racial and Social Justice Committee, NEA Professional Standards and Practice Committee, NEA Human and Civil Rights Committee, NEA caucus member, including Native American, Pacific Islander, and Hispanic, Black, GLBT, Women's and Early Childhood, NEA Steering Committee, NEA Board of Directors, and NEA Director. I also have experience at the state level that Mark does not. OEA MLTP Committee Chair, OEA Social Justice Task Force, OEA Board of Directors at Large, OEA FCPE State Council, OEA Affiliate Grant Committee, OEA Caucus Member, including Hispanic, GLBT, Women's, and DLAMC Treasurer. Finally, at the local level, I have served for the past 23 years in a wide range of classified and certificated positions. This allows me to truly understand the needs of all members. Mark has been full-time released for almost a decade removed from the classroom. I understand the needs of classroom teachers because, well, I am a classroom teacher. My vast experience as both a classified and certificated OEA member, as well as the numerous opportunities, local, state, and national, have more than prepared me to become the next OEA Secretary-Treasurer. My opponent has spent almost a decade out of the classroom, but for good reason. He has worked to advocate for Worthington educators. That is to be commended. However, I have also been tirelessly working to advocate on behalf of educators, not only in Columbus, but throughout Ohio and throughout the country and beyond. I have done this while still maintaining a full teaching schedule. I get it. I understand firsthand the current environment and the needs of our students because I live it every single day. There is a popular show on television called The Voice. On this show, 4 judges have their chairs turned so you are unable to see the contestants as they perform. They can only hear their voices. Each performance is based solely on talent, nothing else. So imagine if you could look at Mark's qualifications and mine, placed in front of you with your chairs turned. What if each of you based your decisions solely on talent? 2 resumes side by side with no names on them. Who would you vote for? Your decision should be blatantly clear. This important decision should not be based on race, gender, or popularity, only talent. This important decision should be based on which candidate is best qualified to oversee the financial operations of OEA and to represent all members at the local, state, and national levels. 3 major qualifications to be a successful OEA Secretary-Treasurer are resilience, resolve, and respect. My qualifications clearly represent all 3. I want to be the difference maker by changing the face of the association to one of diversity and unity to attract new members. The social change agent who creates and finds new ways to improve the processes and procedures that are set in place. When one has the experiential knowledge of educational practices, she is always one step ahead, creating and thinking of ways to make things better. If elected as your new Secretary-Treasurer, I will pull back the curtain of the Office of OEA so we all have a clear understanding to how our membership dues are allocated. Just like in the movie The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy's dog Toto pulled back the curtain and revealed that there really was not a Wizard of Oz. It took Dorothy some time to come to that understanding. So we will walk this way together, and when the curtain is pulled back, don't expect to see the Wizard of Oz or Dorothy. You will see me, Robin M. Jeffries, your new Secretary-Treasurer, representing all of you, classified and certificated. I have worked many years to represent the Ohio Education Association with resilience, resolve, and respect. I have taken the oath of office on this OEA stage 6 times. I am a faithful fiduciary, and each oath I recommit with resilience the duty of care, duty of loyalty, and duty of obedience out of the respect of our association and all of our members. We are all in this together. The OEA has never elected a woman to the position of Secretary-Treasurer. I am not just any woman, I am a highly qualified, trained, and vested woman. And I am prepared to do this work. Now, I need to hear your voice. The decision is clear. Let's add to President Higgins' legacy. Fill in the bubble beside Robin M. Jeffries, OEA Secretary-Treasurer. Thank you.
so I see a bunch there, and I see one there. There is one, and then I don't see anybody at three. Then, and then that's Robin, and then that's Mark. Okay, so if you have a question, right now, skedaddle over to 1, 2, or 3. Okay, you ready to start? And are the candidates ready? Okay, you ready? Okay, ready? Okay, I recognize the delegate at microphone 2.
Greg Potter, Jackson City Education Association. I use that word skedaddle a lot too, Becky, in lunch duty. This question is for both Mark and Robin. How and why did you initially become involved in the OEA, and what leadership positions have you held in the association to lead you to this point?
Yes, Robin, you go.
Thank you for your question. I actually became involved due to my best friend, Ty Hayden, who sits on the STRS board, who told me where I was going, why I was going, and what time to be there. And from that, because of the work that I did at the local level, a very dear friend of mine who has passed away was a board member at the time, Linda Studier, and her term was up, and she asked me if I would be willing to replace her. And so I then ran for my first term on the OEA board. Since then, I was an at-large board member. I'm currently an NEA director and the senior director, and this is my last RA as the senior director.
Thank you.
I began as a member in the state association. In 2010, I was appointed to resolutions, and after that, I became chair. And after that, I ran for the board of directors because Kevin Griffin was my board member then, and I wrote him an email where I was very unhappy about the good issue too, which was redistricting, and I thought we were making a mistake by throwing in when nobody else was. So when you complain, you end up in a leader position. And that's what happened to me. But in every position that I've been in, and I told the story of my parents, and that really has guided me in how I feel about our union, because I see its value for all of us, it's our voice, and I wanted to be part of that voice at every level that I've been on.
Thank you. I next call on the delegate at microphone 1.
Belinda Dixon, Wellston Teachers Association. I've got a question for Robin. Working as treasurer requires you to maintain relationships with districts, local treasurers, and other financial staff members. In order to influence decisions and earn trust, you'll need to set an example. How do you build those important relationships? Can you give me an example of a recent time you successfully led a team or took that initiative to solve the problem?
Thank you, Brenda, for your question. As the senior director, I am responsible for, or I'm actually the liaison between the 6 state directors and our national officers. So when I became the senior, I was given the task of relating with our newly elected NEA directors. So I met with them one-on-one, and I listened to their concerns and I answered their questions. And as an educator, I know that it doesn't matter how much you know unless they know how much you care. So I availed myself, and I had personal one-on-one conversations. I also have to prepare the budget as a senior director, and I wasn't given the tools, and so I had to be resourceful and contacting NEA as well as the former senior director, Andre Taylor, to complete the task.
Thank you.
I don't see anybody at microphone 3. So I'll now go back to microphone 2.
Hi, Connie Campbell, Wellston Teachers Association. This question is for both Mark and Robin. What is your greatest strength And how is that going to help you be a successful secretary-treasurer?
I think my greatest strength as I came up through the association is that I've worked on very collaboratively based leadership model. I have worked very hard. When I mentioned the Senate Bill 5 thing, the thing I was so proud about the membership meeting that we had is we put the call out to action. And the reason we did that is because our executive board said, we have to have a meeting. And I'm like, yes, we do, you're right. And we went and did that. And we organized ourselves to make sure that, and my leadership and the building reps, to make sure that everybody knew that we had to go to that, and it was really crucial that we did. And the fact that 200 of us after that meeting went downtown to march at the State House. And then we had trainings on petition drives and things like that. All that was through distributed leadership, through the help of all the people that I work with, and I'm very proud of our building reps because they do a lot of work for our members.
Robin?
I actually don't have one strength. My strengths kind of work in a circular fashion. I believe that I'm an active listener, a problem solver, and I'm also a trained professional developer, which makes me well equipped to provide the treasurer's workshops, which is one of the major duties of the secretary-treasurer. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Is there anybody at microphone 3? Seeing nobody, I'll go back, and I don't see anybody at 1, I'll go back to microphone 2.
Marty Flood, Columbus Education Association. My question is for both candidates. I understand that you have to present treasurer workshops. What type of professional development experiences do you have?
Yeah. Because we're switching up.
I have been trained in presentation because adult learners are actually much different from educating children. And I have also been trained as a cognitive coach for my school district, and I present not only at the building level, but also at the district level. I actually participate in monthly coaching meetings because I am a coach for a very large building which houses 2 schools in one, 2 programs in one. So I have been extensively trained because that is one of my major duties that I have been serving in for the past 6 years.
Well, I don't have formal training, or I'm not a professional developer as an adult educator. What I have done is, as a member of the STRS board, you may know that we've made some changes in our system. And that has forced me to go out and talk to people and help everyone understand what we were facing. So you have to be able to help people understand actuarial science, which as a math teacher, I know how to lose a room. I'll tell you that for free. And in order to talk about that, one of the greatest compliments I ever got was like, you know, I don't like what you say all the time, but somehow you say it in a way I don't feel so bad. And I feel like that's a compliment that I've gotten. So my experience in making tough decisions and standing for them and being able to answer them is I think, relevant to the Secretary-Treasurer's job.
Thank you. I see no one at microphone 1, so I will go back to microphone 2.
Good morning. Jeff Wensing, Parma Education Association. My question is, other than maintaining membership, what do you believe are some specific things that need to occur in order for OEA to maintain its financial health moving forward? So 65% of our budget is reserved for staff salary and benefits, and that's a subject of collective bargaining, which is off limits. We can't change that through the collective bargaining process. So we have about a 35% piece of the pie left, and that's not unlike
a family budget where you have to decide and prioritize between what you need and what you want. So do you have steak for dinner or do you settle for chicken? And that's what we have to do. We have to prioritize our needs. So what are our needs? We need engagement with our members. We need leadership development. And we need assisting locals. And as your Secretary Treasurer, that's where I'm going to prioritize the resources, advocate for that on our leadership team, to provide the resources for those three things. And then everything else has to fall below that priority, and that involves tough choices.
So we have now come to the end of our 10 minutes, but in all fairness, I'm going to allow Robin to answer that question.
Thank you. In all actuality, we are going to have to conduct business differently. We will no longer be able to do the same things that we've been doing over the years. As an NEA director, just returning from DC, we had extensive conversations around the budget, and NEA has made drastic cuts just since January. 41 staff positions have been cut that will not be refilled. They have also created we have created a budget that for this year will be $28 million, but the next year it'll be cut to $22 million. The funding for the Uniserve units has also been cut by little over $2,600. So we can no longer do or conduct business as usual. We have to learn how to do more with less. We will have to have conversations on what is the best avenue that we should take to maintain our financial stability.